So I just did some measuring over here, and it's gonna end up being pretty awkward. And I just got rid of them because they suck. I kept trying to make it work, but it just kept dying over and over. I don't know why, but this keeps turning off. Alright, it is Saturday morning. It is pretty chilly out here this morning actually. It's supposed to get up almost to 70 today, but right now it's pretty cold. So project for today is going to be working on finishing up this wall. So I'm going to have to do this area first. Getting the that wood cut down to the right size to put across there. And then I'll probably just do this side since that'll be a little bit easier. I just need to have some sort of a cutout somewhere for those wires to go through. And then I'm going to deal with this pain in the ass part, figuring out how I'm going to get these wires to actually stay the hell on there, and all that fun stuff. But I think I'm actually going to go grab the little heater first because, like I said, it's pretty chilly out here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back out here and start measuring and cutting for that section. And yeah. Okay, so I did some measurements. Let me try to adjust that volume right there. Okay, so seems like this must be slightly angled or something, because over here was like 4 1/4 or so, and by the time you get over to this one, it's like over 4 1/2. Yeah. So the piece is gonna start out here with the longer one and stop there, and then another piece continue there. So I guess I'm just gonna we'll cut it to, you know, the right length first, and then I'll cut it so it's like 4 1/2 inches, and then just, you know, make markings if I need to trim anything off there, basically. Because yeah, I don't know, for some reason it's not all equal, which I'm not super surprised, because I was just basically making sure it lined up with those two, and if it ended up being angled, it was angled. So alright, so yeah, I am gonna work on getting that one in there. So yeah, like I said, this is the first big project of the day. The biggest problem is going to be dealing with these stupid ass things, and then once that's done, the next thing I want to take care of before I start working on anything else is, I noticed, I don't think I looked at this since I put that insulation in there, but it's really sticking out there, so I want to do something with that. I want to put, you know, some type of piece of wood or something in there, because it doesn't look good, especially when you're coming in from, you know, the side door. You can really just see it's like right at, you know, eye level before you get in, and yeah, so I'm gonna work on trying to cover that up a little bit better, fill that in with something, but first I am gonna go ahead and measure out how long of a piece I need now, and then go make that cut and just start messing with it until it kind of fits in there properly. Okay, so I have that first piece cut here. So it definitely does hang down just a little bit over here, and over here it's pretty even with it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get it screwed into place there, so that way it doesn't move around. And then on the back side of it, trace out where, you know, I need the, basically tracing along this board up against the back of this, so that way I know where to cut exactly. And then that way I can take it down, cut that, and put it back into the exact same spot, because the screw holes, you know, will all already be there. It'll take a little bit longer because I have to, you know, drill it in there, take it back down, put it back up. But I think I'll get I think overall it'll be much easier, rather than trying to hold it there with one hand and trace behind it, and then after I make the cut I have to line it back up into that exact spot where I had it before. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the drill, get the screws and all that stuff, and get it up there, and then I'll make that line going along the back side of it. Okay, so here's that first piece in. Can't really film it too well, I don't think, but it's pretty well lined up. It hangs over just a tiny bit, which is okay. So yeah, so now I'm gonna work on that next piece over on this side. Okay, so I got this piece all cut here. I did kind of screw up one thing. I actually flipped it upside down, so this is the flat side and this is the side that I cut. And so now there's actually like a little awkward gap there because I didn't cut in, you know, perfectly straight line. But it still works all right. It's a very tiny gap. But what I need to do is put more insulation in here now. So I'm gonna pop this back out. I mean, you see it fits really well. There's not a single screw in there, and it's just holding in there fine. So I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna take out those screws, and then I think I should be able to just stuff going up, because I think I really can only fill in a certain portion here before I hit the spot where it sticks out and already has insulation stuck into that part. So yeah, I'm gonna undo those screws, grab some insulation and get that going, and then I'll get this screwed into place. Okay, so got that area all stuffed in there. Also put some in there, and then also filled up these holes that I didn't fill up before. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those boards back up on there, and then it'll be time to mess around with that zone. Okay, so I just did some measuring over here, and it's gonna end up being pretty awkward. So it's I forget what it was going across. I'm gonna try to get this here with one hand. So obviously there's all this, there's this wire, there's this thing, there's this little bolt thing, and these wires are gonna be running through. So it's gonna be weird going that way. I think it was like 10.5 or something going across that way. But these pieces, not this piece, but the normal ones, are 6 inches, and I need like 7 3/4, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna end up putting one full piece in there, and then having to put in one awkward like 1.5 inch piece in there, I guess. I think I should be able to reuse those strips for that, though. Hopefully they'll be around the right size. So yeah, I guess I'm going to work on the full piece first, and then I'll just work on putting that little piece in there then. So I gotta remeasure because I forgot the exact measurements, but measure, and then obviously I'm going to be making adjustments all along over here and making sure it lines up over here, and I'll get that in there, and I'll stuff the insulation back there, and then I'll work on the little tiny piece that will go up there. Okay, so that piece is in there. So I have to fill in that bottom part. I stuffed all the insulation in there. Yeah, so I have to see if those pieces, those kind of strips, will fill in that spot or not, or if I may have to do something else. So I'm gonna go ahead and test those out real quick and see what happens. Okay, so just doing one of them is too small, but if I hold up both here, they actually fit pretty well, and they actually work around that cable going through there really well as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure these out, cut them, and basically just gonna install them just like this, how you see them. Obviously just not super long like that. But yeah, I think it looks actually pretty good right there. Alright, so I'm gonna get those in there, and then comes the super big pain in the ass part of the job, dealing with this. I gotta say, that thing, those wire connectors, whatever, they have been holding on for like forever. I mean, that's like the first electronic thing I hooked up in here, and I've never once had that either of those pop off of there. These ones are a pain in the ass. As you can see, there's already ones hanging off there, and I haven't even bothered putting it back on there because I know they're gonna end up popping off there. They've been off there for like a week straight now. So yeah, so before I end up doing this side, I'm gonna work on these and figure out how the hell I'm gonna get them to stay on there. I can't actually get them to stay on there because I'm gonna need them to be detached when I put the wood up there, and then feed the wires through the hole, and then have connect, and then put these in through the hole and have them all in there. But I have to figure out somehow to make sure that the wires stay in the connector and the connector stays on the switch. But for right now, I'm gonna get these chopped up and in there, and that side will be all done, and we'll have like almost a fully complete wall here. Just this zone will be left over. Okay, so what I did so far was I took the original plasticky things that they had on there, and I just got rid of them because they suck. The one metal one that I put on there that I bought seems to hold both the wire and hold onto the switch a lot better. So I literally just, they weren't even connected here, but I literally just pulled the cords out. They weren't even like held in by anything other than like the tape a little bit. And now I have those on there. I got to do the same thing on that one. But I need to organize this over here because I realized I didn't label these. I have this stuff labeled back here, but I didn't do anything about that. So I just did a test to figure out which current box is going to which wire, which coordinates with which switch and all that. So I'm gonna get this stuff organized and get it, somewhere up here on the wall in this zone or wherever, however high up it reaches or whatever. And then that way it's a little bit more organized, and I can kind of tell which one is which. Like I'll put, the top one on one side and the one that's the lights are gonna be running lower on the other side, or whichever way. And then that way when I'm having to pull off the switches, it'll be easier for me to test and figure out, make sure that, this switch that I'm putting in the wires I'm coming through the top hole actually coordinate with the lights that are going to be at the top, and the ones that are in the lower hole are the ones for the lower lights. Otherwise, it's just going to be a disaster. So I'm going to organize that stuff first, and then I'll come back over here and take off these crappy plastic ones and put on the good ones that seem to hold better. And then it'll be time to actually measure this and get some wood cut and slapped in there, and find where the hell I put that drill bit to make the holes for these, and get that all in there. Also gotta make the hole for this one. As you can see, this one just works no problem. The wires are, these connectors that came with it are great. So far I've been super happy with these. They've been charging my phones, and the wires are really great. They have this little cover, so if you get sick of the light, I don't really use it right now because I'm not in here like sleeping or anything, but if at night I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that blue light, boom, it's gone. So yeah, I've been super happy with that. These, they look really nice. I like the the colors, and they function. When they are hooked up, they do what they're supposed to do. Nothing light up there. I only have one thing of lights on, and I like the variety of colors that came with it. So if you have a lot of switches, you can do all kinds of different colors. But the plastic things that came with are just terrible. They don't hold the wires in there at all. So I would say I would recommend the switches. I would just say pick up a pack of these. What are they called? They call them disconnect pairs. You don't really need the pairs because see, these are the ones you actually do need, and some of them are, see that one right there? That one's just like a stick thing, like what you would basically put into one of these. It basically looks like the backside of, like a plug that goes into the wall. Just a stick with a hole. Oh, losing them here. But that's all I could find there. I couldn't find ones that just had these weird shaped ones that I needed. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead, hook those up. I don't know if it came with screws. I actually have to look to see if it came with screws to be able to put those up onto a wall. And if not, hopefully I have screws small enough to get through there. I should. From when I was hooking up some of this stuff here, I should have something small enough for that. So I'm gonna check that out and get that hooked up. Okay, so those are all hooked up there. So this is the top one. When I took off that duct tape that I had on there, I accidentally ripped that off, which actually worked out. So I know this is the top one and this is the bottom one. So that's all good. I replaced those other shitty plastic ones on that one, so now they're all the metal ones. So hopefully that works out better. So now I am ready to get rid of some of this duct tape. So now I'm ready to measure this out and start cutting some wood to put in there. Okay, so that piece is in there. So I just have those top screws in there. What I need to do now is figure out exactly where these are going. Basically what I'm doing, these switches are going to be up here, top one on top, bottom one on bottom. That way it's very easy to tell which one controls which set of lights. and then this is going to fit next to it, just over here. So I got to figure out exactly where, height-wise, they're going to fit, and then mark that out and make all the different holes I have to make for it, so I can get all that in there. Once I have those holes made, I'll stuff that rest of that insulation into this spot, and then I can put the wood back up there, pull those wires through the correct holes. Obviously these will have to all be disconnected at that point before I can do that. And then reconnect everything and work on getting it all in there. Sounds easy, but it's probably going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, so what I did was I first marked out where the board lines up along the bottom, and then I took the board down. I basically just put these up into position and marked out where I want them to be with a pencil. And then I put the board up there, not with the screws or anything, just held it up there and made these markings. So I marked out where the board ends, that board right there. And then same thing on the other side, so that way I know the opening is here in between those. And then I marked out all the way over on the sides where those markings are. So basically if I just go across in a straight line and I know it's past that spot, I can make that hole, and hopefully it works. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but this is the method I have come up with. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and basically just lightly do the lines connecting here and then going across. So this is the line marking up for that USB thing, so it's not like they actually connect all the way across, they're just random. So I just figure out how to make those lines straight and not going at an angle or anything. And we'll see what the hell happens. Hopefully it works out okay. Okay, so this is what I have come up with. I traced around these. I accidentally did the 1 inch on this side and didn't realize it. But it's actually supposed to be 3/4 inch, so these should be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. So basically these are the light switches. I moved this one up from this marking so that way it's like in between these two instead of like down here level with one and not the other. So yeah, so I am going to go ahead and I guess I'll have to do this while it's on the wall because I don't want to drill through this and hit the table. Yeah, so I guess I'll take it inside, put it back up on the screws, and make these holes with the correct bit, 3/4 and 1 inch, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So I should have charged the battery last night, but I didn't, so I kept trying to make it work, but it just kept dying over and over, and I couldn't get that last bit cut out there to be able to get this one out. This one's already made, but I can't really do a whole lot because I don't want to run the wire from there up through here and then cut a hole through there and end up destroying all the wiring. So yeah, I just have to wait for it to do some charging before I can get that one and then get that one. And then once those holes are made, I can work on pulling those wires through there and getting everything in place. Yeah, for now I can't really do a whole lot with that. So I don't know, maybe I'll work on sweeping out some of this junk that's all in here from me drilling all this wood and everything. Try to clean up, and then hopefully that doesn't take too long and I can at least get enough charge to finish that hole, make that hole, and then I'll throw in the charger and not worry about it. Although I probably will need to do more of the drilling around and make that hole a little bit bigger based on what people said online. Yeah, and then get all that run through there and all that fun stuff. Alright, so I will be back once I can actually use the drill again. Okay, so the drill worked enough to get all that done, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out and work on, well, I guess before I run the wires I should test out this to make sure it fits. Because this one apparently is supposed to use a little bit bigger of a bit than I used. So I'm going to check that before I put the wires in there. That way if I need to widen up I can do it without any destruction to the wires. So I'm going to do that real quick, give it the test, and then either make the hole bigger, or if it's good enough then start taking this down and getting the wires through. Okay, I think first issue of the day. I got the red one off. However, this negative wire, it won't come off. I even tried using these, like the tips of it, to try to, clamp down it, basically like pliers, and pulled off, and it's not coming off. And it's not like I can just cut it and then attach it with something else. Like, I need to get this metal off of here. So I'm gonna keep working on that. Somehow get it the hell off here so I can actually figure out if it fits in there or not, and then eventually hook everything up properly. Okay, so the drill died again while I was trying to make this bigger, so now I have resorted to using the metal sander thing. It's taken forever. It was still taking forever with the drill, and now it's still taking forever with this, but I don't really have any other options. So I am just little by little chiseling away at it so that can actually fit in there. Okay, so finally got it big enough to get it in there. Now I need to get it back out of there, and then take out these screws and work on running those wires through there. Okay, so got that all in there. I actually didn't end up even taking this out. I just plugged it in and put it right up there, so that's all good to go. And now I got all these wires hanging out here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the little light switches, hook them up, test them, make sure they have them hooked up right. The black wire is easy enough to know where to plug, but at this point I have no idea which red one gets plugged into which spot. Honestly, I don't even know if it really matters which one, because I mean, every time that I plugged it in after it came unplugged, it would still just work. I don't know why, but this keeps turning off. I don't know if there's something wrong with my batteries right now. I'm gonna real quick check the app and see what the hell's going on, because this keeps switching off here. And I don't really get what the hell's going on here, because nothing else is running. The fan's not running. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. Okay, so it was saying that it was a load short circuit. So I don't know if that's because I had these wires all exposed and negatives and positives just touching each other and probably sending crazy signals to the charge controller, or if some people online are saying instead of having your load go directly here, go from your fuse to a bus bar and then go to the battery and not even go to there at all directly. That could be causing an issue by going directly into there. So if it keeps happening, then I'll do that. Luckily, it's only a couple steps extra. It's not like I have to rewire the entire van or anything. But yeah, so that's all hooked up there. I don't have lights on the top one right now, but I tested out, and there's the one for the bottom one. I switched them out to be both red, just because I like it. And now that they're actually in place, I can easily tell which one's which. So you can see that's the bottom one, and it goes to the bottom one here. So yeah, and that light is back on. I don't know if you can really see it from the angle, but everything's working again. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get these into these holes now, without screwing up these wires, hopefully, and then this whole area will be done, other than just putting another, strip or whatever I need down there of wood, and that's it. Okay, so this is the size hole that I said to do, but I am having some real trouble getting the last bit of it in there. I don't know if I should take these out, and I mean, it's going to be, at this point, a huge pain in the ass to try to make this area any bigger, because I already got wires all connected and going everywhere. So I'm gonna keep trying to figure out how to get these in here. I don't want to use like a hammer or anything, end up destroying the light switches. I do have two things of lights on there now. Weird thing, on the camera the lights look like they're doing some kind of crazy stuff on there, but really it's just solid lights, but they're like blinking. Weird. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep just pushing them in here and seeing if I can get them to go any further. Hopefully I don't have to try to pop them out and do anything as far as making the hole big. Alright, so that last piece is in there. USB light is on. These both function. Voila. Okay, so I have to figure out what I'm doing next for the day. Logically it would be to just keep going with the wall, either over here or over here. But I only have 3 full pieces left of that wall stuff, so I'm gonna have to check online and see if Lowe has any more in stock. If not, I'll have to put in an order for it. I could hook these up, wherever, whether I put it over here or over here, it really doesn't matter. Just in the meantime, get that done. But then if they don't have any more stock, I'm just have to order and wait for that. And then I don't know, if I can't keep working on the walls, I guess maybe I'll start working on the tops of these. So I'll probably take those wall pieces and put them down here, so that way it's, you know, behind where I'm going to be working anyway, just in case whatever words. But yeah, so I'm going to have to, like I said, if I'm not working on walls, I'm going to have to measure all this out and pick up wood and like hinges and all that kind of fun stuff. And then, yeah, I can just, you know, get it all cut out and put in here. So it really depends on what's in stock at Lowe's. So I'll check that out and then we'll continue on. Okay, so before I left for Lowe's, I decided to start messing with some of this stuff. I got the bottom pieces in, and now I just realized that because of how I have these spaced out, I'm not going to be able to do that kind of staggering crisscross kind of pattern like I have on the other wall, because it can't reach from that edge to there. Maybe once this part gets more narrowed in, maybe I'll be able to stretch it over and be able to do it then, but for right now every piece is going to have to be cut here, because it can't reach there, and then I'm going to have the piece going from there to there. I mean, not a huge deal, but it's just going to look different than the other side, so whatever. So yeah, so this is my last piece, other than just, you know, the scraps. So I guess I'll put it on either side. It doesn't really matter which side I put it on. I can start with either side, and I'll get that installed. And then I guess I'll be heading to Lowe's. According to their online thing, they have like 30 something boards over there, which is great. So I might actually do some measurements and see, because I don't think I might need 30 of these, but figure out about how many I'm gonna need. So maybe I'll be able to get enough just to do everything, and I won't have to worry about, you know, picking up anymore and wondering if they're in stock or not. So yeah, I'm gonna get that in, and then it'll be time to go to Lowe's, I guess. Okay, so online it said they had 37 of these boards that I need. Got there, they had 0. I don't know what the hell. This is not the first time that's happened with Lowe's. It also happened with the installation when I went to initially pick it up, and then I ended up getting it from Home Depot. So then I was like kind of pissed off, but whatever. I came back out here. I measured this just to make sure the size, even though I already knew, you know, the size of this, but I measured it just to make sure. Went back in to look for a 1-inch thick, essentially 2 foot by 5 foot. It's actually more than I needed, but figure, you know, if I could find a 2 by 5, 2 by 6, whatever I could find. Apparently Lowe's doesn't sell anything 1-inch thick that is that large. The biggest I could find was like, it was by like 1 foot, and you could get, you know, up to 6 foot, 8 foot, anything like that. I think I did find one that was 16 inches, but still not big enough. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to attach 2 together then. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go back home and do some research and look on Home Depot, because their website seems to be more accurate, and see what they have in stock. I don't know if I'll be able to get these exact boards, so I probably won't get those, but maybe I'll end up finding something that will fit here. Okay, it is Sunday morning. So yesterday, basically, ordered more of this wall wood. I initially put in to have it shipped to the store, and then the store actually contacted me, and there was a whole mix-up because it said there was stuff available, but it wasn't, obviously. So they ended up having to cancel that order, and then I went on and ordered again, but they didn't have an option to ship to the store then. So I am having it shipped directly, which I'm sure somebody's going to be happy about, having to deliver 20 of these boards. That's going to be fun. So yeah, so can't really do anything else about the walls currently. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. It said possibly like a week, but who knows. So that's happening. In the meantime, today I'm going to go pick up for this seat over here, basically 2 boards. Each of them are going to be 5 feet long by 1 foot and 1 inch thick. So I'll end up having the trim, you know, each of them, and I'll have to, one of them, take off a few inches lengthwise to get it to, you know, fit in here properly. And then I'm going to get a 2x4 and basically just do, you know, two foot or less than 2 foot of it here, here, and here, and connect it in those 3 spots and be able to put it down. So yeah, so that's the game plan. I don't know how much I'm gonna really get done today because I have a lot of running around to do, and it's kind of like supposed to, I think, rain on and off all day, and I can't really do a whole lot of cutting when everything's all wet. So yeah, we'll see how far I get. Basically, I'm gonna pick it up and then just kind of go about my day doing everything I have to do, and if I have time, I will get to work on some of this cutting. If not, I'll just have the wood with me, and then maybe sometime this week, if there's better weather. It's not a huge job, really. It's just a couple cuts, so it shouldn't take all that long, and I can even do it in parts. I can get the one board cut, the next board cut, and then I can work on the 2x4, connect them, piece by piece, basically. So yeah, we'll see how far I get today. Yeah, I don't have high expectations based on the weather. It was raining all night. It does seem like it lit up a little bit right now. So hopefully I can at least get, to the store, get the wood loaded up, and not have it get all soaking wet or anything. But yeah, so that's the game plan. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to get anything else really done this weekend, so it might just be a short video here. But whatever. It's getting there. I'm just happy that I have one wall totally completed, and I took off those lights so they're not bouncing around, but there's those switches all lit up. And that load short circuit never came back on. Even when I had, both phones were in here charging at one point, and I had the, the inverter running with the drill battery was charging, that little fan was running. I had this turned on, although it wasn't running a whole lot yesterday, and it never came back on, so I'm thinking it was just because these were all disconnected and the positive, negatives, everything were just touching each other, probably sending crazy messages to that. But the weird thing is, I don't get why it didn't first trigger something on here. It said it went directly to there. I don't know if that fuse is too big. I don't even know if you can get a smaller fuse, but I don't know, maybe I'll look into that. Yeah, alright, so it is time to hit the road and go pick up some wood. Alright, so just got back from Lowe's. Just want to show you what I got here. So these are the, where's my finger? The boards. So basically, I'm going to end up trimming these lengthwise because these are 6 foot and I need it to be a little under 5 foot, whatever it is, 57 inches or whatever. So I'll have to trim it that way, and also one of them's gonna have to get trimmed going lengthwise, so that way they fit, right depth there. And then this 2x4, the shortest one I could find was some weird size, like 92 inches, and then like 5/8 of an inch or something. But I'm gonna end up chopping that up into to basically go across to connect those two boards in 3 spots, so at one end, the other end, and then in the middle, and then that will go on top. I picked up more screws because I was running somewhat low on those. I know I'm going to need more once I get those wall pieces in. I also picked up hinges. I almost forgot about those, but hinges to connect the that board that's going to sit on top here with the wall, so that way I can lift it up. So yeah, so right now I'm going to go ahead and get some random stuff taken care of. And then if I have time today, like I said, I'll come out here and start working on this. As long as I have time and the weather holds up. It's not raining right now. If not, then sometime this week I'll get going on this stuff. Alright guys, so it is Sunday afternoon. This whole afternoon has been pretty crazy, windy. Doesn't really look like it from right now, but I think I'm just gonna let it go for tonight. And then hopefully sometime this week we'll get a little bit better weather, so it's not raining or windy all day. I just don't feel like being out here trying to cut wood and have the wind blowing around like it was in the winter when I was trying to hold the wood down and it almost blew off the whatever wood cutting stand. So yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Probably a short video because I didn't do a whole lot this weekend.
But then hopefully this week I can get to work on chopping up that stuff for the that whatever couch thing, and maybe get that all connected and everything, and then whenever the hell all that other wood comes in, I can get back to work on the walls. Alright, so I think that's it for the video.